Spotlight. Cool. So yeah, with tonight's session, very much wanted to focus on it started off with removing emotions and coming back into peace and love. But perhaps it is embracing all of the emotions and all of the feelings. So it then got me into kind of back into my head. And I started thinking about running a little bit of the subconscious repatterning stuff that I had used to do more so with NLP techniques, and about how to kind of remove these types of emotions and change the story that was attached to them. So I started kind of going that way, and then I did some breath myself and always get the answers, it seems. But yeah, very much remembered that the breath allows us to experience what we're ready to experience. It allows us to feel what we're meant to feel in that moment because it allows us to become fully present. And so really what it taught me again was to be able to create the space for the individuals that are present, and whether that's live or watching this back, to be able to, through the breath, be able to focus in on shifting some of the stagnant energy, shifting that emotion within, and really be able to come back into a present, balanced state. So tonight's breath journey will be perhaps intense, is a word, but it's also a reminder that you are in complete control of your breath at all times, and learning to navigate that relationship and trust, and yeah, really look to feel safe with your breath is a really important part. So throughout the first week, we've been focusing on breath awareness, we've been focusing on light breathing, and getting the fundamentals and the techniques right, and the consistency of the practice. So it's really great to hear the feedback from that already. And so yeah, with tonight's session, shift and adapting from what it was going to be. Um, and yeah, really providing a beautiful space for you to dive pretty deep with the breath. So I guess yeah, before getting into it, perhaps some reflective questions as well. So if you've got paper and a pen, great, to be able to work through these. But it's really being able to, and the reason I thought to do this was to bring some conscious awareness to perhaps what it is that have been holding on to, some significant events that may have happened within our life. And none of this needs to be shared through this platform. You can, if you would like to, whether it's spoken or through words. But it's to be able to reflect on these, to be able to create the awareness on what it is that we are looking to focus on and to shift. And I kind of touched on it before I started recording, but through our awareness, our conscious mind at any given moment is only able to process such a small percentage of all of the information. And all of the information is beyond science, let's say, but from our five senses, everything that you are currently touching, everything that you're seeing, hearing, smelling, feeling, might have left one out, but all of the information, your conscious mind can only process such a small fraction. So what's happening to the rest of it? It's being either deleted and disregarded. So from your periphery, or well, not even periphery, but from what you can see, you might be looking directly here. You can see a lot more. You can hear a lot more. You can feel a lot more. But what we're giving conscious focus to is only, once again, processing such a small fraction. deleted some of it, generalized, distorted. And a lot of this information is still there. So you might have something off to the left of you that you can vaguely see, but you're not focused on it. But if you focus, you can remember what is there. Similar in the way events happen, yet science will tell us that I think it's about 50% of something that happened yesterday or 24 hours ago. We will remember 50% of it. So already we are generalizing, we are distorting the memory. And so through this filtration system, what is occurring is we are getting all of this information. We are then through a sequence, a series, or a process, we are choosing what information gets generalized into certain things. And a lot of this comes from our biases. So it comes from when we are younger, who we trust and who we are listening to. And that happens not just when we're young, throughout. But, we take on authority figures, or we take on people that we see in authority as truth. And this can happen in things that we read, in what we hear. A friend might be telling us something, and their view or their perspective, their opinion, we can then subconsciously take that information and be truth, and then run with that story as true. So the reason I'm kind of bringing this up is because we take on many things, and many things that we are completely unaware of. And the emotion, if we're not processing it, so if we are unaware of it, we suppress it, we avoid it, it's going to stay somewhere. And so it builds up. And so the more that this builds up, the more, I'd say, the less conscious or the less awareness we have on it. But I like to believe that all of this information is accessible, and the emotions or the feelings that are within us, we can, when we're in a heightened state, or when we're in a very very heightened state, let's say, we can react to a certain emotion or feeling. So if something has happened to us in previous, a significant emotional event, now that can be something that brought you a lot of anger, or it could be something that hurt you, or that allowed you to, or you felt really sad. These types of emotions, if these events are happening and we are not processing the information, let's where to go to it from here. We're not processing that information, it's going to continue to, let's say, grow. And when we're in that heightened state, perhaps we feel perhaps we feel angry, or something else triggers that feeling within us or brings it to our awareness. If we're not comfortable with that particular feeling, then we want to get rid of it. So we want to throw that onto someone else. We want to, get rid of that anger and unleash it. And if it's not in a conscious, calm way, then we're going to respond and react to that particular feeling. When we are able to slow the brainwave frequencies down, and we're able to access certain memories, access certain feelings, we're able to do it without the reaction. And we do it in a way where we're able to change the perspective of what we took from that particular event. So in a way, we're changing the memory. And in timeline therapy and subconscious repatterning, what is happening in this process is you're going back to the root cause of a specific emotion or a specific belief that you've taken. You're going to that place then from where there's no emotion attached, and you're able to see and find positives for that particular event. Therefore, as you come back to now, you're now seeing everything that's happened up until now from that new lens, from that new view. And this is the way, once we've got this belief, once we've got this belief in that we're able to do this, it's compounding that belief. So it doesn't matter what we choose to believe, but whatever we choose to believe becomes our truth. And it becomes, then if we're telling that story enough, it then becomes our identity. And this can look like a situation where you're talking about your anxiety, like it's yours. So of course you're going to have it. And then if we're viewing it from what I spoke about maybe last week or so, if we're then viewing anxiety as, something negative, then all of a sudden we've created this story that I have this really negative thing and I hate the person that I am when I have it and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, words are very powerful, and I might be going off a little bit on a tangent here, but what I wanted to get to is when we allow ourselves to breathe and to access this subconscious state, trusting that we are safe because we've created an environment for ourselves where we are safe to do so and to feel and to express. When we've given as much as we can conscious thought into something with that intention, we then allow the unconscious and we allow ourselves to access the subconscious where everything exists and do it in a way where it's not scary. We don't need to be afraid or to be fearful of this particular process, which consciously we can be. So hopefully I made some sense there. And if not, it's all good. But yeah, where I wanted to start, if you do have paper and pen, is to be able to start with perhaps writing down some of the significant, I don't frame it as negative, but it's just a way to frame it, but significant emotional events that have happened in your life. And this may come really easy and it may not for you. And you don't need to judge as to what that would be for someone else. Just some events that come to mind or come to feeling for you. And perhaps just thinking of three. And if you can't think of three and you can get one or two, great. But if you've got three, just writing it, it can be a dot point just so it reminds you of what that particular event was or is. And then from there on each of those events, noticing what feelings you were feeling and noticing whether there was any anger, whether there was any sadness, whether there was any fear, whether there was any hurt, and whether there was any guilt. Perhaps there's others, but focusing on those. And if you want to unmute yourself, ask any questions through this, feel free to do so.
So just to get a brief clarification, you want us to write down very specific memories and the emotions
Yeah.
that are tied to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Sounds good.
This is perhaps, bringing some awareness to some feelings that you were feeling through that. And perhaps you are still holding on to, perhaps you're not, but bringing some awareness to what's there. And let me know if you do need more time, but otherwise, also just wanting to write down three beliefs or limiting beliefs that perhaps have limited your joy, your happiness, perhaps success, perhaps love. Perhaps it's just having or feeling what you want. And these can be, a belief is really just something that um, this can either come from learning them from somewhere or it can come from within you. So it's about identifying the stories and the sentences and the things that we're saying to ourselves that are preventing us. So this just, it could be as simple as a very deep root cause of something could be I'm not good enough. But what is it that you feel that you're not good enough about? Or perhaps when it comes to relationships, it's very easy to create stories that I'll never find someone, or that these might not be very appropriate for you guys. But it may be, all men are this, or all women are this. Trying to think very general, specific, and maybe things are coming to you quite easily. Perhaps they're not. And these beliefs may be, around you and your business slash career. They could be around those types of relationships. But basically, things are happening in our lives and they continue to compound. Um, and we can choose to then believe it, and it remains as a negative belief, preventing us. But in a way, this is just highlighting for us a story that we can let go of and change. If you have found that you've been able to write down some limiting beliefs, see if you can change it to an empowering belief. So it may be quite simple to change the wording to I'm not to I am or something like this. And these can be affirmations that you take, that you practice. Or it could just be being able to express that through your writing, through your thought and your writing now. And as we enter into the breath, it allows it to shift. Just bringing some conscious awareness to it. Does anyone need more time with this? If you're watching it recorded, you can pause.
Maybe like a minute or two.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm all good.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. Now, all right. right. So yeah, with tonight's breathe, it's kind of touched on earlier. It's very much a reminder that you are in complete control at all times with your breath, but also observing where you feel perhaps that you meet the edge of the comfort zone. And this is perfect, perfect for everything in life. But particularly, as we're breathing, perhaps you're familiar with this, perhaps you're not. It, you know, generally it kind of starts off still a little bit in our head, kind of telling us all these things, and it's just stay with the breath and allow yourself to just follow that rhythm. But sometimes through the breathe, you might get stories of, oh, this is not doing anything, or I'm not able to just follow it, or these types of thoughts that are a little bit distracting. There can then also come times where you can be saying nothing's happening and um, like I can't drop in, or these types of things. And it's at those moments, sometimes you haven't realized, but you already are in. And then other times it's just about staying with the breath or certain practices just going a little bit quicker than what you have been. This breathe that we do tonight will be very different to what we've been practicing through the week, and very much designed to help get out of the head and yeah, more into this subconscious to be able to shift out some of the energy flow. So this is very much a breathe, let's say, for you to be able to experience and then process as to how often you may want to breathe to this nature. And the beautiful thing about it is you can simply set up a nice playlist for it and allow yourself to breathe in this way for whatever period. Generally, though, you're going to want to commit to breathing in this manner for, some people it might take 5 or 10 minutes, some people it might take 10, 15, other people it might take 20 or 30 minutes to get out of the head. So for tonight's practice and session, allow yourself to focus on, oh, am I joining? Allow yourself to really focus on staying with the breath, no matter how uncomfortable at times it may feel, um, how challenging it may feel for you, and particularly the so that's kind of the mental side of it, the physical side, the sensations that you may experience, which you may experience the lightheadedness, the tingling through the body, the hot and the cold sensations, tightness, tightness in your hands, tensing, not being able to control to relax them. All of these types of sensations are very common when we breathe and begin to really increase the oxygen intake in the body, but also when we're activating the sympathetic nervous system. So we're going to get that response within the body, the adrenaline release, and everything begins to open up and flush. The blood alkalinity begins to change. So this is where we can notice tingling, tightness. The hot and the cold is your veins opening and the blood flowing through. So from a physical standpoint, there's a lot happening. And remember this because this is also flushing a lot of that waste out of your system. So it's getting rid of a lot of the carbon dioxide, a lot of the toxins out of the body, really flushing a lot out of your body. So the breath that we will be doing is a two-part breath. So quite simply, we are focusing on kind of and everything up until this point has been nose breathing. And this still can be nose breathing, but it can also be a lot easier to breathe through the mouth for this practice. So it's basically you're taking two two parts, as it suggests, two breaths. So you kind of through like you go kind of best way to explain this and to be able to show because I can't really show too well. But I'm basically going breathing into my belly, breathing into my chest, and then letting go. So it's quite rhythmic. It doesn't necessarily need to be as quick as that, but you do want to keep quite a quicker pace than your normal breath. Now, there may be at points throughout this breathe where you take a break, which is fine. There'll be points where your breath will take over, and that is completely fine. And there'll be perhaps points where you don't know, yeah, what you're supposed to be doing or how you're supposed to be breathing, and you can feel confused. And at any of those points, just remember to come back to your breath and trust it. So whether that's coming back to, or whether it's holding your breath, or whether it is breathing slower, if that's what you truly feel to do, the guide is kind of feeling, am I in my head and in my stories of trying to get out of a practice and focus on what I need to be doing later or what else I could be doing or what I should have done earlier? If it's that kind of, hey, like, let's get you out of here. No, I'm busy. I'm with my breath. And then so you're back to your breath. All right. In those moments, come back to until you just don't have that chatter in your head. And this kind of thing can be difficult to explain if you're not familiar with it, if you're not comfortable with it. And this is where it's very much encouraging you to trust and to stay with it. So you're taking a full breath from those two parts. So the belly's full and then chest is full. Let it go. And you just keep going and going and going. As I said, you may pick up pace, you may back it off, but you're trying to keep it quicker than the normal rate of breathing. This breath will increase your heart rate as part of activating the sympathetic. So you may feel once again your heart even beating a lot more and a lot faster, able to feel it. Remind yourself at any point if fear arises, remind yourself that you are safe, that you are in complete control, and allow yourself to return to the breath, whether that is in that two part or whether it is in a calm, calmer version. Once again, trust it. I'm very much trying to frame this in a way that you are your own guide, you are your own healer. You have all of these tools within you. And yeah, like as a reminder, I got today, someone messaging me about breath, asking, you know, all they want to do is to be able to take 5 minutes a day to breathe. So what's actually preventing us from that? Often it's just stories and different bits and pieces, these beliefs that are preventing us. We already know the basics of breath. It's just allowing ourselves to kind of get past that initial resistance, that initial period of I don't know what I'm doing because I'm not a breath expert breath expert, or um, just maybe this could be harmful, maybe this could be damaging, maybe I'm doing it wrong, blah 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 blah. Just get rid of them and just focus on breathing. And so this breathe here tonight will be quite a long space for you to go through this process. I'm not going to be guiding as much, and the reason being is hopefully with this particular breath, you do let go of, I guess, in a way, what is comfortable, and English speaking voice can kind of keep us in this. It can keep you in the stories. So being able to let that go, feel the frequency and the vibration of the sound, and following that and trusting it with your breath, my voice can sometimes bring you back from where you were. So there won't be as much guidance. So this is where I very much want to frame for you to trust. Stay with that breath. Stay with that two-part breath for as long as you can. There will be points where I come in and advise to whether it's to hold the breath or to continue breathing, but allow your body to feel the rhythm of the music, and allow your heartbeat and your breath to match that. The music's curated in that way where it does allow you to kind of feel it and to flow with it. And like, don't worry about falling asleep, because if you do, great. Towards the end, if you fall asleep at the start, then yeah, that would probably not ideal. But if you do fall asleep at the end because you've entered into a deep state of rest, great. If you get thoughts, if you get thoughts at points, thinking, oh, maybe it's over, maybe I've been laying here for hours, all great. There will, just so you know, there will be some gentler, softer music towards the end. And if by any chance you are thinking about, like, if you're thinking about coming up and checking that I'm still here or that the Zoom's still on, then the music will completely stop at some point. I will gently guide those back towards the end, and then the music will stop. So if you can't hear any music, either we've finished or your connection is gone. Other than that, if you can still hear music going, then stay with your breath, if that makes sense. Um, Open to questions for this, because I know it's, yeah, there's, yeah, open to questions if anyone has any particular questions.
I have a question, Luke.
Yep.
So you said breathe from our mouth, not so much nose that I'm used to.
Yeah, you can breathe through your nose if you prefer, and you can always change throughout it. Um, but yeah, to be able to take in the oxygen for this particular breathe, yeah, ideally you
Okay.
want to do it through the mouth.
Okay. Thanks.
Welcome.
So we would be laying down for this.
Yeah, highly recommend. If you're comfortable enough seated, you can do this seated. But yeah, if seated, you really want to make sure that if you were to fall in any direction, then it's comfortable for you to do so, and you're not going to, hurt yourself. Um, but yeah, I would highly recommend laying down.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. And yeah, with positioning as well when laying down. Now the male and the female body is different in a few ways, but the actual breathing mechanics is slightly different as well. But when you're laying down, just making sure that if you want to put something behind your head, try not to have a massive pillow. And basically, you just want to imagine yourself flat. If I was to put a big pillow behind me, it's going to change the structure and my breath capacity. So you just want to make sure if you want something behind your head that's comfortable, just have something that's not changing that position so that it's coming too far forward. And you can kind of notice that just by breathing fully and noticing kind of where the best position is. You may want to place something under your legs or knees. You may want to have a blanket handy, perhaps some pillows. You may want to squeeze something through this. And so there will be opportunity at the end of this breathe to be able to express and share anything that came up for you or that you felt or noticed and perhaps would like to share. There will be space for that to do so at the end if you feel. Lots of different experiences can happen with this. So without singling anything out or projecting too much into what may happen for you, just allow the experience to take place. Allow any thoughts and feelings to arise for you without judgment. So you're really focusing on allowing initially the connection with your breath to take place. And then once that connection with the breath's taken place, just allow yourself to expand. Allow yourself to push past the comfort zone. So you're going to be breathing for longer than you would have perhaps, or perhaps have before. So just allow yourself that space to get into the rhythm. And then once you're in the rhythm of it, you won't need to think about it, and allow the feelings to be present within you. I'll turn my video off. So just allow yourself now to find the most comfortable position that you can. No need to change the breath here. And as you allow your body to rest, to soften and relax, just begin to observe your breath. How does your breath feel in this moment? Where do you feel the breath moving through the body? If there was one place within your body to soften, where would it be? And with your eyes closed down, perhaps you can see dots. Perhaps you can see black, white, grey colored specks. Imagine that these specks in front of you are all cells of gratitude. Imagine as you breathe these cells in, as they move through your nose, down your throat, into your lungs, as they move through the heart and into the bloodstream. gratitude flowing through you. Allow your breath to deepen and soften. The exhale, allowing the body to relax. The inhale, breathing in this gratitude deep into your heart. And the exhale, allowing the body to relax. How does your breath feel now? Are you with your breath in the body? Perhaps the mind is still active. It's all perfect. Feel the breath as it enters through the nostril. Feel the belly rise. With the exhale, allow that breath to be soft, shoulders to relax, for your heart to soften. Allow your intention to be within you now. Whatever it is, allow it to be felt in your heart. If an intention does not come, perhaps allow yourself to feel calm and whole. Taking a full deep breath in and let it go. And we begin. Two-part breathing. Staying with your breath. Belly, chest, you let go. Know that the mind will come in at times. Stay with your breath. Allow it to take you deeper than you've ever been before. Feel the breath as it moves through. Full breath, belly, chest, let go. Feel the power that it creates within you. Stay with your breath. Keep it flowing. When you find the limits within yourself, go beyond them. Stay with your breath. Allow yourself to feel the emotion. Allow yourself to feel it all. Feel the power. Feel the anger. Feel the hurt. Whatever it is, feel it all. Give it 10 more breaths now. Full breaths, powerful breaths. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a full breath in. Hold the breath at the top. Hold and feel that energy, knowing you can let go at any point, or you can choose to hold. Feel it. Feel the energy within you. Allow yourself to express whatever necessary, whether it's through movement in the body, through noise, through screaming, shouting. Allow yourself to expand. back to your breath. Keep your breath moving. Belly, chest, let it go. Pushing past the resistance now. You are capable of anything. Keep going. Keep breathing. Feel it. given it a lot. Now finish strong and give it all you've got. Allow yourself to push past any resistance, any stories, and allow yourself to feel it all. Inviting you to pick up the pace here now. Finish off strong. Almost there. Each breath deeper than the last, fuller than the last. Fill the belly, fill the chest, let it go. Almost there. Give it all you've got now. your breath to become so soft, so slow. As if you're barely even breathing. Can you slow the breath down even more? Noticing that everything begins to slow. Your heartbeat, almost time itself. Can you breathe even slower? Each breath full from the bottom to the top, as slowly as you can. Bringing your awareness to your heart, full of gratitude. And bring your awareness to someone that you love. And with all this gratitude and love within your heart, take a few breaths as you send this person love and gratitude. And now, with gratitude and love in your heart, bring your awareness to someone that has been challenging within your life, perhaps current or past conflict. And with a heart full of gratitude and love, take a few breaths, sending this person love and gratitude. And with gratitude and love filling your heart, filling your being, take this love and gratitude and send it to yourself for all that you are. Send yourself love and gratitude with each and every breath. Bringing a smile to your face. Feel that love. Feel that gratitude within you. Above you, beneath you, in front of you, behind you, all around you, this love is. Bringing some gentle movement to the body, perhaps rolling your fingers and toes. Bringing some gentle movement into the body wherever feels good. Allowing yourself to slowly return in your own space and time. Only as you feel ready, bringing yourself up. If you'd like to lay in stillness, welcome to shut this off and do so. if you haven't already. Bringing that movement more into the body, coming back in to this moment of now. As you feel ready, blinking open your eyes and coming back. You beautiful human, you. How are you, Faye?
Good. Yeah, good. That was good.
That
I'm,
was
I'm not
good.
very good at that sort of breathing, but I think I was a bit better than I am in a group
Mm.
session doing that.
You were better than being in a
Than
group?
in a group session, yeah. Better at
Interesting.
doing the breathing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Maybe less distracted by, other people.
Yeah, perhaps.
Mm.
Anything that you wanted to share from your experience or any questions?
Um, oh, I think I found it easier to begin with by breathing in through the nose and doing it that way. And then as I got more into it, then it was easier for me to do in through the mouth, out through the mouth.
Mm,
It's always a little bit challenging for me to do the mouth breathing for some reason.
mm,
I don't get a big enough breath or something. With that. But once I got into the flow with it by breathing in through my nose, then it got better halfway through.
awesome. Awesome feedback for you and for me and for everyone else. Yeah, and this is where it's beautiful, beautiful hearing everyone's style of breathing and what works for someone may not work for someone else, but may. So it's really nice to get that feedback. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hopefully, well, Kath mentioned she'd been falling asleep to the nighttime session, so she may be asleep. Are you asleep, Kath?
No, I did drift off towards the end, yes.
You did.
Yeah. But yeah. But I found it it's different mouth breathing.
Mm,
Yeah. I felt more tingly doing that. I was all tingly and I was twitching a lot. So I don't know if I was releasing a lot of top stuff or what, but I was really twitchy. Is that expected? Can that happen?
yeah, twitchy definitely can happen, and can come on pretty quickly as well. When
Yes,
mouth
it did.
breathing.
It
Mm,
did. Yeah. Yeah. But
yeah,
that was it's great.
all sensations that can either like becoming familiar with you perhaps may not notice other times. But then also it can be like a point of awareness and focus of like yeah, maybe it's really tingling in one area and just giving it awareness and observing it without needing to, "Oh, what's that feeling? What does that represent?" Can kind of
Mm.
show itself as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's beautiful that we can place awareness into understanding what is happening during certain moments. Like, yeah, through a breath experience, like we can understand, or we feel a certain thing, or we get clarity on a certain thing, and the mind then can place our awareness on the understanding of that. But it's also so
Mhm.
beautiful to know sometimes that you are so deeply present with something that you don't remember anything or you don't know anything. And I think that's almost like a beautiful way to be. It's like curious of all of the different sensations and feelings that we can experience without necessarily even needing to know or understand what it means, because
Mm.
there's many things that it can. And
Yeah.
also learning to interpret that for ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt cold as well, but then right at the end, I just got all this overwhelming sense of warmth. Yeah, it
Interesting.
was incredible. Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, it's always interesting online, because ideally I'd like to set that up where we hit play and I don't say anything, but then at times I notice myself being like, oh, maybe I should or shouldn't. So it's interesting even being on this end. But yeah, I think the more comfortable you get um, with breaths like that, you are then able to, you don't necessarily need music, but the music can help with the emotion and the rhythm. But you really can then set yourself for like, yeah, 20, 30, 45 minute breathes and do these. And for me personally, it's like maybe, I don't know, if I feel like I'm noticing certain behaviors, or just kind of feeling like I just want to shake some stuff off, really. I kind of come more to this type of breath and just go for a longer session, whether it is setting a time or not, just kind of getting a long enough playlist to elicit it all, and letting go of the count of, you know, normal style of Wim Hof, let's say, where it's 30 to 40, and just breathing and like getting out of the head, being like, I'll get it all the time, or it'd be like, oh, like, how many more? Or like, oh, stop now. And I know that if I'm getting those thoughts, just keep going. Just keep going. You kind of get a point where your breath just completely takes over, whether it's going faster, slower, stopping, or whatever, like I explained at the start.
Mm.
How are you, Megan? I see laughing, but I don't hear anything. You're on mute. I might have muted you.
Um, yeah, good. I fell asleep.
You as well.
Yeah, I was like, oh, how long was I out for?
Perfect.
Um, yeah, mine was in my neck. Like my neck was really sore to start with,
Mm,
and then had like and then my eye twitched, and like a bit of twitching in the foot, and yeah, few different sensations.
mm. Interesting sensations.
Yeah.
And glad you're able to get rest. And yeah, it's interesting. We can do, yeah, practices that really shift us into that sympathetic. But then when we relax and allow the body to do what it wants to do, it kind of shows us exactly what it needs, and often that is rest. Um, yeah, a beautiful way to enter it after a practice as well. So try not to stimulate yourself too much now that you've wound yourself down a bit. Um,
Yeah.
I was going to say, no, gone. Yeah, any other questions or comments?
I thought it was good. I think that there was the right amount of talking in there from you, Luke. It
Yep,
was good to have that guidance.
cool.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, good to know. Yeah, I think yeah, this type of practice can be, or can be really powerful. And I think the more familiar people are with it, you do know what you're doing as you're going into it. So can be a little bit, that's where for me it was, all right, maybe it needs some guidance, maybe it needs this, maybe it needs that. And it's always hard to tell online. I cannot see anything. Um, no idea where people are at, and sometimes forget that people could be in all sorts of realms at the point when I go to speak. So I don't want to like break out of that. But then also for some people, yeah, just being able to get back into it, perhaps requires a little bit. So yeah, thanks for that feedback. And yeah, the idea I guess behind any of these is to provide a space for people to be able to breathe, but also learn how to do these types of practices on your own safely and comfortably as well. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I'll stop. Goodbye, those are watching on the